Don't miss Aaron Price on News 2410 next.
Tonight, a Williamson County jury today handed down a verdict for $8.5 million this afternoon against Heartland Regional Medical Center for the death of a 60-year-old Marion man who died following elective... Tonight, a Williamson County jury today handed down a record $8.5 million verdict against Heartland Regional Medical Center for the death of a 60-year-old Marion man who died following elective shoulder surgery. And a Williamson County man goes on trial for charges accusing him of posting threats online to shoot up a school. Plus, local officials stress safety at public observation areas. We have those stories and more tonight on a Wednesday night edition of News 24 at 10.
Live, Little Egypt's breaking news source. This is News 24 at 10.
And good evening, thanks for joining us. We have a lot of news to get to tonight, but we begin in Marion, where a Williamson County jury today handed down a record $8.5 million verdict against Heartland Regional Medical Center for the death of a 60-year-old Marion man who died following elective shoulder surgery. The jury reached what is believed to be the highest personal injury verdict in Williamson County in 3 hours. The hospital had admitted liability just hours before the trial was set to begin Monday. Lowell Williamson died in August 2013 after Williamson's widow's lawyers say a certified registered nurse and hospital employees administered a lethal dose of a gas known as sevoflurane. The widow's lawyer also say that although a physician was required to be immediately available, the attending anesthesiologist did not respond to the emergency situation for approximately 55 minutes, despite multiple attempts to contact her. 3 children under the age of 3 are being treated in a St. Louis hospital for injuries they received when a car they were riding in went into a creek. According to Illinois State Police, Jimmy White, 27 of Mounds, Illinois, was driving north on U.S. Highway 51 just south of Dongola when he drove off the road, crashing into a creek embankment. 29-year-old Channel Young, also of Mounds, and White were taken to a Union County hospital for treatment. A 1-, 2-, and 3-year-old were all taken to St. Louis for treatment. According to police, nobody in that car was wearing seatbelts. The Cesar Police Department is looking for a vehicle involved in a police chase this evening. Police say a vehicle was spotted at approximately 4:42 p.m. and it was believed to have been involved with an armed robbery in DuQuoin. Multiple agencies are assisting in attempting to locate the suspect vehicle. To the weather, where after wet conditions today, warmer temperatures return tomorrow. Here's Terry with the latest. All right, thanks, Terry. And we do have an update to the story we just brought you. DuQuoin police are now headed to Centralia to pick up the man involved in a police chase in Cesar today, and no other information has been released regarding that chase. To more news tonight, a Williamson County man goes on trial for charges accusing him of posting threats online to shoot up a school. Treston Miller faces 3 felony counts, one for each of the threats he's accused of posting to the now defunct website Topics. Zanotti initially charged Miller with 3 Class X felonies, but downgraded the charges after learning Miller had no weapons or solid plans to follow through on the threats. Detectives told the judge Wednesday about their investigation, which started with a tip from Marion's police chief. There was a problem, though. The first 2 posts had been deleted before police could get a copy. The trial lasted 3 hours this morning, and only 4 people testified. One of those people was the suspect's mother, Amy Miller. She said he never showed violent tendencies and was going through a hard time, dealing with numerous medication changes for mental illness. Miller's lawyer said prosecutors can't prove the first 2 posts exist. She also argues that even if they could prove he made the 3rd post, it should be treated as disorderly conduct, not the more serious terrorism charge. Zanotti admits the crime fits the definition of disorderly conduct. Ultimately, though, the judge will decide. Judge Brian Lewis said he wants to look at evidence in the case, specifically a police interview with Miller and surveillance video from the Marion Walmart, where prosecutors believe Miller posted at least one of the threats. Judge Lewis said he'll make a ruling March 26th. Southern Illinois has many beautiful state parks to visit, and as temperatures warm up, more people will soon be hitting the trails. However, there are dangers inside these parks if hikers aren't careful. On Saturday, a 16-year-old from Wisconsin got stuck in a small cave known as Fat Man Squeeze at Giant City Park. She was stuck for more than 5 hours. Rescuers from several nearby agencies responded using ropes and oil to get her free. Captain Jay Crippen from the Carbondale Fire Department was one of the many first responders on scene. While it's not a common rescue call, a quick search on YouTube reveals several videos where people are stuck inside Fat Man Squeeze. Most are able to free themselves, but sometimes it takes a team with a lot of specialized equipment. In hard-to-reach places like caves, Captain Crippen says you don't even attempt to go inside. He also suggests never getting off the trail, keeping your phone charged, and always letting someone know where you're going and when you'll be back. The director of the Union County Ambulance Service says each year around this time, they take several calls from Giant City and other state parks. Most calls are related to lost hikers or falls. Much more local news, sports, and weather is next on News 24 at 10. But first, here's a look at your national news. Fox News update.
And Fox News. They want answers. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The acting FAA chief called before lawmakers after the deadly Boeing 737 crashes.
A Senate subcommittee on aviation and space will hear from acting FAA Administrator Daniel L. Weld next week, the first hearing with top aviation officials since the recent crashes of 2 Boeing 737 MAX aircraft in Indonesia and Ethiopia. The 737 MAX has since been grounded by the FAA. The chairman of the National Transportation Safety Board and the Inspector General of the Transportation Department are also on the witness list. Earlier this week, Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao requested an Inspector General audit of the FAA's certification of the Boeing 737 MAX.
Fox's Jared Halpern on Capitol Hill. European and Canadian regulators have announced they will conduct their own inspections of the Boeing jets that may lead to them being grounded for a longer period of time. President Trump stepping up his attacks on former Arizona Senator John McCain months after his death.
So I have to be honest, I've never liked him much. Hasn't been for me. I've really probably never will.
The president speaking in Ohio. The two began sparring while President Trump was campaigning. Georgia Republican Senator Johnny Isakson rebuked the president on Georgia Public Radio.
It will be deplorable 7 months from now if he says it again, and I will continue to speak out.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell called McCain a true American hero in a tweet. Scheduling glitches have led to an immigration judge deny Trump administration request to order for immigrants deported because they failed to appear for initial hearings in the U.S. while waiting for their appearance in Mexico. The judge has asked the administration to file a brief by April 10th that explains how it can assure migrants are properly notified of court appointments. This is Fox News.
Stop.
Attention students, graduates, alumni, and the general public. John A. Logan College invites you to the 24th Annual Job Fair, Wednesday, March 27th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is your chance to meet with representatives from over 75 companies. Dress for success, bring your updated resume, and be prepared to interview. The 24th Annual Job Fair, Wednesday, March 27th, from 9 to 1 in the Donald L. Brewer Gymnasium at John A. Logan College, Carterville, Illinois.
What is success? Is it the job? You'll have plenty. Recognition? For what? Joy in what you do? Go do it. Break through. Look around you. Reach out to the edge of your comfort, to the limits of your knowledge. Growth. That's what we offer. From within, from without, with every season. It's never easy. It's never over. But we're with you. Let's shape the world to come.
Superstore. Bring in that old camper of yours and get up to full retail on your trade. Don't miss this opportunity. Only at Black Diamond RV Superstore. Spend more time enjoying the outdoors this summer with your family and friends in a new travel trailer, fifth wheel, or toy hauler. Trade up time and up to full retail value for your trade. Only at Black Diamond RV Superstore. Come join the outdoor party.
Konnichiwa. Welcome to Fujiyama Japanese Steakhouse in Carbondale and the Illinois Center Mall in Marion. Fujiyama is the area's first regional Japanese steakhouse with hibachi tables where our chefs prepare your food right at your table. Enjoy a full bar and large fresh sushi bar. Fujiyama Japanese Steakhouse has a family-friendly atmosphere with delicious food and more fun. Open evenings and for lunch at the Illinois Center location. Fujiyama in Carbondale and Marion.
You could spend your dollar on a burrito from a burger place, or spend it on a burrito from a burrito place. Burger place or burrito place. Burger. Or try this $1 grilled breakfast burrito, part of the $1 morning value menu, only at Taco Bell.
At News 24, our commitment is to the community. Whether meeting you through news, weather, or sports, News 24's mission is to serve the communities we love to the best of our ability. News 24, strictly Southern. Wednesdays and Thursdays at Don Sol mean $5.99 beer and $7.99 margarita pitchers all day long. Don Sol Mexican Grill. It's different. It's better. Come in today. This News 24 weather report is brought to you by Don Sol Mexican Grill. It's different. It's better. Come in today.
All right, thanks, Terry. A new poll from Southern Illinois University Carbondale's Paul Simon Public Policy Institute shows approval ratings for prominent state and national political figures varied based on location. The institute surveyed 1,000 people regarding their feelings toward several elected officials, including Democratic Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. When asked how the governor is doing on the job, the results of all those surveyed were close. 40% approve, 38% disapprove, and 15% are unsure. The institute also broke down Pritzker's approval ratings based on 3 Illinois regions: Chicago, Chicago suburbs, and downstate. In the city of Chicago, 50% approve of Pritzker's performance and 28% disapprove. In the suburbs, 40% approve and 36% disapprove. In downstate Illinois, 34% approve and 50% disapprove. During this time in 2015, a Simon poll on Governor Bruce Rauner's approval ratings were close to Pritzker's. Rauner's approval sat 3 points under Pritzker's at 37%. A pair of identical bills are moving through the Illinois legislature that would raise the minimum wage for home care workers from $10.67 an hour to $13 an hour. The legislation includes Senate Bill 2019 and Senate Bill 2776. A local woman who relies on home care services is Ziegler resident Mary Pavlov, who has been living in the same home for nearly her whole life. She had a devastating accident 2 years ago. Since then, a home care worker comes to help with chores and errands for 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday. One of those home care workers is Davina Deer, who says Pavlov is one of her easier clients, but says others can be physically demanding. She says the job can also take a mental toll when clients are difficult. Deer says a $2.33 raise an hour would be helpful for her family, especially since she hasn't been able to save for retirement. Pavlov says her workers deserve the pay increase. Without their care, Pavlov adds, she would be in a nursing home, like after her accident, when she was going through physical therapy. Instead, she wants to stay in her home for many more years to come. The bill also protects worker benefits so that paid time off, payment for training, health insurance, and transportation payment cannot be reduced due to the pay increase. An El Dorado teen badly injured in a crash in January is spending his first night at home since the accident. Joey Etnight was so severely injured in the crash that doctors told him he may never walk again. Despite that, Joey has persevered and has been walking with little assistance. El Dorado welcomed him home with open arms, lining the street in downtown with signs, balloons, wearing t-shirts with his football jersey number, and cheering for the team. Many have been following his recovery journey while in St. Louis via his Facebook page. Joey is a junior at El Dorado High School and says he may be going back to school in a couple of weeks. And we'll have much more on Joey's story tomorrow morning on News 24 this morning. And for now, that's all for your local news. News 24 Sports is next, coming up after the break.
This month you can get a 24 by 36 by 10 for only $22,850. Build your true. True Build builds